Welcome to the Automoblox reverse engineering project. One of the first things you want to do is take apart your Automoblox. You want to take each section out. There are some parts that aren't going to come out. One of them is the axles and the connectors inside the different parts, as well as the base that the people sit in. So you want to take each part apart, and you want to then put them aside. You're going to be working in this as a group, so you want to make sure that each person has an assignment of what they're going to be concentrating, measuring, and redesigning on. You're going to be using the dial calipers for this. Remember, the dial calipers measure in tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. So the first thing you always want to do with your dial calipers is make sure that they're zeroed. To do that, you want to make sure that the dial caliper is pushed as far as close as much as it can. Lock it, and if you need to change this knob under here unlocks it once, and then you can rotate this. Once it's in the correct position, lock it back up, unlock this, and it's ready to move. There are a couple of main types of dimensions that you're going to want to get. You're going to want to get height, and I'm using the outsides for this, letting it just get right in there and kind of cradle it. So you're going to get an outside dimension, so height, width, and depth. So you always want to get 3 dimensions. It's a good thing to have a couple of different attempts at trying this. The first couple of times you're going to get a few different dimensions, so you want to take careful notes of what you're actually getting, and then you want to take it and measure it again the same exact way that you did before. So you'd want to take your width and you'd want to compare it. Like this time I got slightly different. I got 2.282 instead of 2.2805, so slightly different. And then if you have differences, you're going to take the average of them. So good rule of thumb is measure 3 times and take the average. That way you get the most accurate measurements. So with the dial calipers, you have a couple of different ways to measure. You have outside dimensions using this part. You have the inside dimensions using the top part. And then you have the depth, which is using the tail. So you can see here, right in there. With each of those methods, I suggest once you have it in the right spot, lock the dial so that if you accidentally move the pin here, it's not going to affect your measurement. So you can get a measurement without having to worry about you accidentally changing it. Once you have your measurements for each of your parts, what you're going to do is you're going to modify the existing parts that you have based upon your type of car. So if you have the T9 like this, you want to take a look at it and you want to get the best measurements. So you want to look at the tire. Look at what it has. So you notice here there's actually a little ridge. You'll notice that it's hollowed out a little bit. So you're going to modify it as you need to. You're going to look at the tire width. You're going to look at the tread on the inside. Count the tread. Pay close attention. Take notes. You're going to look at the passenger base. Each one has them, although some of them might not have all of the shapes. I know the coupe only has 2. So you want to look at them. You want to pay careful attention to the shapes. With the connector, a lot of you will probably only have done the first part. We have the back part, which is slightly different in size, and each car has a different shape on the connection. There are certain things I don't expect to see. I don't expect to see the little pinch tabs. I know they're the more challenging. So if I don't see the pinch tabs, just leave those out. I don't expect to see the tire tread. That's okay. So you want to look at your measurements, get a good approximation of them, and try your best. And what you guys are going to do is you are going to take your vehicles and you're going to modify them, and then you're going to create an assembly. Guys, have fun and good luck.